So, Dr. Umar Johnson attacks Vanessa Bryant. Coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Common Sense Logic Reason. And as always, I want to say thank y'all for joining me today. So, Dr. Umar Johnson is no stranger to being involved in heated debates. You know, especially with his idiotic viewpoints, he's always going to be in debates, trying to spew his nonsense. And when he was on the Joe Budden podcast, he interviewed there, it was no different. He basically got into a heated debate again. Now, this particular video was put behind a paywall, as I'm hearing. And I'm not about to go behind the paywall just to get one damn video. So I'm just going to have to source some other people who also commented on this video. And there are plenty of people who basically commented and posted videos about that interview. And so that's basically what I'm going to do. And in this video, I'm going to deal with exactly what he said about Vanessa Bryant.
Kode Bryant.
Let me ask you a question.
Kode Bryant.
I want to ask you a question.
Kode Bryant died. Vanessa inherited his wealth.
Sure.
And guess what? Is Vanessa Bryant using any of that black man's money to do any good in the black community?
Let me ask you a question.
Absolutely fucking not. Listen, Vanessa Bryant just started an initiative with 3 predominantly white colleges, some sort of a sports initiative with Kobe's money, and Kobe's name didn't choose a single HBCU with a black man's money.
Because the same way you naming these people, we can name mad black wives that got black money from their husbands that did shit to help black people. Stop. It's my goal. No, it's not. We own.
And you know what the difference is?
You're wrong.
You know what the difference is?
You're wrong. You're wrong.
If I marry a white woman, when I die, my wealth goes to the very people who have robbed everything from my community.
That's not true.
But now it's been reported that Dr. Umar Johnson is completely wrong on this. You know, Kobe had different initiatives, foundations that he donated to that aided the black community, and she's continued to fund that. So Dr. Umar Johnson, again, he's completely wrong here. Another classic case of him talking shit without knowing shit. That seems to be a problem with leftists. They always do that. But I don't see how anyone could even blame her for not wanting to spend a one red goddamn penny in the black community to where black females celebrated his death. So you should be glad that she's continued those initiatives, you know, to keep funding the black community, at least the whole entire black community. But how can anybody get upset for her not wanting to spend one red dime to aid black females the way those black females celebrated his death? But anyway, I have 2 issues with what Dr. Umar Johnson said here. Now, my first issue is he's under this assumption that black females are these great philanthropists. Like, where's the evidence of all these black females who inherited money, started being great philanthropists in the black community? I'm just curious, you know, where are all these black females who suddenly inherited a whole bunch of money and then they started using that money to better the black community? That money is more than likely to be, you still go to white people, because they'll take that money and they'll spend it, go on trips and stuff. So that money still won't help the black community, as he's claiming. Now, it's one thing if for a black female who went out there and earned it, such as Oprah Winfrey, but then she had these schools, and we hear all the bad thing about these schools in South Africa. But when have we seen a black female inherit money and suddenly started using that money to quote unquote better the black community? I would love to know, you know, if for somebody to provide the evidence to back this up. So what makes Dr. Umar Johnson think that if Vanessa Bryant was black, that suddenly all this money is going to quote unquote benefit the black community any more than she'd already done, any more than Kobe has already done? So that's the idiotic point. I mean, we already heard the stats that a dollar bill at best bounce around the black community one time before it leaves. That's a black people problem, black community problem, not interracial dating problem. But like I said, we have no evidence of all these black females who inherit all this money and then start being these, involved in great philanthropy in the black community, doing anything to make the black community better. So that's a BS argument. And as far as, you know, he's asking, well, what happens if a black man marries outside his race, and well, whatever he was saying about money leaving the black community, well, at least the money will stay in the community or something like that. It won't go to our oppressors. Well, Vanessa Bryant is she's not an oppressor. She's Hispanic. And even then, even if she was white, there's no white person there oppressing black people. So those oppressors are dead. And the people who they oppress are dead. Why did you keep clinging on to the past? Once again, I say this is a tactic of using the past to fuel the race anger of the future. That's why they got to keep running back to the past. Now, my second issue with this, and my most important issue, is I'm just wondering why in the hell are the black community always needing somebody's money? Like, what in the world is going on with black people where we're the only community that's complaining about, quote unquote, where's this money that's going to aid the black community? There's no other community you see where you hear people doing this. You know what these other communities do? They're doing. They're not sitting there talking and giving speeches and debating on podcasts. They're out there doing. Okay, and the question I have for Dr. Umar Johnson, what the hell is going on in the minds of black people where you got to be always begging for somebody else's money, or you need somebody else's money? If everybody in the black community pulled their own weight, this wouldn't even be an issue, because you wouldn't even worry about no money that she has, because everybody else will be handling their own business. And this is a problem in the black community, where the people handling their own business, and they're not. So him pointing the finger at everybody else except for where it needs to be pointed at, and that's the people in the black community. What the hell are you doing in your own community to support yourself? And this is the problem with the horrible mentalities. I talked about the ghetto mentality all the time, where the black community is suffering because of the ghetto mentality. The ghetto mentality is causing the black community to always be in the state it is, because anybody with that mentality is not going to be able to produce. So instead of him addressing that ghetto mentality, which is the real problem, and dealing with the source, which is black females, he's going to just keep crying about white supremacy and systematic and everything. And of course, if you don't address the problem's never going to solve itself. But he's not going to do that, because then he'll have to address his black queens, so on so. But anyway, I would like to say that Vanessa Bryant, she has absolutely no obligation to do a damn thing in the black community. A black person has no obligation to do a damn thing in the black community. Everybody has an obligation to support themselves at the beginning. And if this is not the case, and this is continually being a problem in the black community, then we have bigger fish to fry than to worry about interracial dating, Dr. Umar. But yet, this is just yet another idiotic point from this fool, and how people keep saying that he's so smart and intelligent. I don't know, because I've never heard one intelligent thing come out of his mouth. But anyway, y'all, that's my 2 cents on this, and until next time.